back with Almost News with me, Chester, and we've got our underqualified political analyst in studio to discuss elections with us and how voting works. So we've got Mpheng Morobe. Hey, Mpheng, how's it?
I'm good, Chester. How are you doing there?
I'm good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Chester.
Yeah.
Last year was quite a thing. Let's hope this year's better.
It will be better. So like voting now, did you register yet?
Of course I registered, Chester. I registered very many years ago, as soon as I could.
Right.
I was born prepared.
You were born prepared, okay? Amandla, nobody cares. Listen, I noticed voter apathy is really on the rise. How do we deal with this as a country?
How do we deal with it? Well, first, let's just talk about the stats a little bit. Do you know that in 1994, that only something like 15% of registered voters didn't show up at the polls, which is pretty good, probably a world record by global standards.
Well, there's a reason for that, because it was the end of apartheid. I don't know where you were, but that was a thing.
Yeah, I guess quite a big deal, Quite a big deal.
Quite a big deal. That is how much of a coconut he is. Keep going.
But weirdly enough, in these last municipal elections we had, apparently up to 35% of people didn't show up to the polls.
35%, that's a lot. That's like a matric pass in South Africa. That's really not a good lot. That is a huge amount of people just staying at home and doing shisinyama.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy, Chester. I mean, like that they say that most young people aren't even bothering to register to vote. So it's not like they have to get up on election day.
But I understand that, because, you know, young people would go vote if you told them Ricky Rick's going to be there. You know, that's if you got to get some emoticons involved, you know, get a bit of a sexy swag. Maybe voting's just boring. I mean, if Terry Lakota was your guy that you were voting for, maybe, I mean, the EFF surely is changing that.
No, I don't think so, Chester. I mean, personally, my own feeling is young people should stay home. I don't think young people should be coming out to the polls.
No,
anyway.
wait, no, guy. No. Young people need to be involved. The average age of South Africans is 26 years. I mean, the majority of this country is young. We can't tell people not to vote. Don't do that.
That's so crazy, Chester. Do you really want the people who invented the Idibala challenge to be deciding on the future of the country?
That is the most prejudiced thing I've ever heard. You're so ageist. It's not who's running the country. It's who's changing the country. A and B. Have you seen the Prime Minister of Canada? I mean, the guy's so young, he looks like Harry Potter's running Canada, Justin Trudeau. So there are young people who run the country. So Ramaphosa's not that old.
Really?
Well,
you think? Well,
it's not really a millennial, is he? But my point being that young people have driven change in this country through COSAS and through the ANC Youth League. I know you only read Financial Mail and Helen Ziller newsletter, a.k.a. Sunday Times, but I mean, the fact is...
I think the only change that the EFF has made is bringing change into their own pockets, Chester.
Oh, please.
I don't know
guy.
if I
Come
will
on,
be chasing
come on,
after
lad.
the EFF.
There's got a whole generation enthused about it. They got a branding that was cool. They got cool people. Mbuyiseni and Dlozi sings there, and they brought the conversation about poor unemployed people back into the center of government.
Okay.
I mean, where have you been living, man?
Who cares about that, Chester? Here's what I've been thinking about the elections. Why don't we let the foreigners who live in South Africa vote? Why don't we let all the Zimbabweans and Nigerians who are currently living in South Africa be part of the electoral process?
No, man, that's ridiculous. Let's just start with the fact
Why is that ridiculous,
No, because
Chester?
what if
they have to deal with Zulu taxi drivers every day, surely they should be allowed to have a say, Chester.
Listen, man. Listen, Morobe, listen to me, okay? If you get foreigners vote, you don't know who they're going to vote for. What if they all vote for Cope, and then suddenly Hillbrow becomes a Cope area?
What's wrong with that? Terror Lekota's not such a bad guy.
No, you clearly haven't seen it.
He likes to hang out
He'll
with
make
Happy
the
Forum,
official...
but so what?
Well, listen. We have South Africans who have rights that they fought for. We need to make sure South Africans are getting those rights.
I don't know, Chester. You're way overestimating the importance of voting anyway. I mean, think about what happened last year. We got a new president, and nobody asked for him. The ANC just went ahead and decided.
Yeah, but
what happened to your must-vote democracy?
You don't understand how democracy works, do you? You don't understand how it works. People vote for a group who represents a certain set of policy statements and agreements, and they vote in those policy statements and agreements. If the party chooses another leader, that is the will of the people. I mean, where have you been living?
Think about how boring what you just said is.
Yeah, it's boring. No, I agree.
Policy statements, reading. Do you realize how smart you have to be to know all of that? That's probably why people who are not interested shouldn't vote, Chester.
Okay, just wait, okay? I think that voting should be about... It should have nothing to do with qualifications. It should have nothing to do with age. Everyone should be allowed to vote.
Okay, look, Chester, I'm going to say something that maybe you might disagree with. I know we disagree a lot, but maybe. Okay, listen to this. What if the racists were right? What if we need to have a qualified franchise? What if you need to maybe have a matric
that's insane.
or be
I don't want
qualified or
right-wing
something
rubbish.
to be
No,
elections?
that's just some right-wing
Maybe
rubbish.
they're onto something?
No, I'm not. You must leave now. You must go. That is the most crazy right-wing Donald Trump rubbish I've ever heard.
Listen,
Don't listen to this guy.
Chester.
So that,
Look
turn him
what
off.
happens when you just
Turn
let
him
any
off.
Tom, Dick, and Harry vote.
Turn him
Look
off.
at what happened in England.
No.
They got Brexit. Look at what happened in America. They have that orange clown running that country.
Yeah, they do, but that is
unfettered
how
democracy does not seem like a good thing to me, Chester. Doesn't seem like a good thing at all.
Morobe, listen, Mpheng, listen to me. We all need to vote. Voting is like your sex life. We must appreciate it. It only happens once every 5 years. Who's your daddy? Hope you saw the
I don't know, Chester. I mean, think about how ridiculous elections are. Now all of these parties are going to spend the next couple of months lying to us, telling us they're going to give us this, they're going to give us that, housing this, water, internet must fall, blah, 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 blah. I'm tired of that
But that's exactly what voting does. It gives you your rights. That's how people ended up with more houses built for any other country outside of China that South Africa's built. That's how people ended up with running water and roads in places that apartheid just didn't take it to. That's how we have 17 million social grants going out every month.
Look,
because
Chester,
people use the power of the vote. I mean, how stupid are you?
Look, Chester.
Guys, seriously.
There's only really one human right.
You vote
the
for
right
UDM,
to be
don't
free
you?
from violence. Almost every other right requires society to get together and build these things. Houses requires people to do it. Running water requires people to do it. Internet, I mean, it wasn't even invented until 30 years ago.
No, okay,
what are you talking about?
But that is a right. Internet is a human right. Now that it exists, people should have access to the power of information. That is how we as a species evolved. You want a certain evolution because it protects your middle class, Edgar's buying, whatever cologne, smelly,
look at this,
spicy
Chester.
wearing,
Right?
vibes to
Everybody now says that slavery is bad, yes?
Anyways,
But
what the hell?
the Bible says it has no problem with slavery at all. Are you going to quibble with God?
I'm out. You can't listen. Puppets have rights. Humans have rights, and you do respect them. That was Mpheng Morobe. He won't be back next week. If you see him, throw a guava at him. I don't care. Thank you. We'll see you after the break with our amazing interview.